Welcome to another How Good Is It? We're going to take a look at Toyo, who is basically, if you want the TLDW, like a Masakoko, in case you still remember what Masakoko was like, light type Magia support. It's kind of like that, but less support, more actual damage. And that's basically a pretty good description already. So Toyo has 2 Excel discs, 2 charge discs, and as you know, as someone who leans towards the Magia sort of type, you might already have an idea for what their person is going to be. Of course, the person is going to be Exceldra. Like, did you guys forget what happened the last 2 years of Magia Record, where every single Magia character has Exceldra passive, Exceldra active as their personal? Of course, they fucking do. So nothing out of the ordinary there. Attack is extremely high. Magia characters usually have really high attack because they're very aggressive. Connect is just building a whole bunch of MP on basically anyone that you give it to. Magia, or more importantly Doppel, which is the Yamato no Orochi, of course, gives attribute strength and damage to 5 random enemies. The fact it's not AoE, I'm not quite 100% certain, but I think this is still gonna be pretty good DPS against the dark type Kimochi, which is going to happen very soon. Like the very next Kimochi is going to happen right after this, should be the Kimochi where you play your light type character. So you have your Masakoko, you have your Toyo that's going to be in there, and this should already be doing you a good amount of damage with this effect right here. More importantly though, it buffs your entire team's Magia and light damage. So since you are going to be playing a light type Magia team, even if the damage from the Doppel itself is maybe not as high as it maybe could have been if it was like a damage all enemy tiles Doppel. The fact is that this buff is strong enough that just by that it already puts her on the radar for that sort of team. And on top of that, she also buffs specifically herself's damage even further. So she's really looking to try and be one of the top 2, probably top, maybe not the top 1, but like the top 2 best DPS that you're gonna have on your Kimochi team. The anti debuff doesn't really matter that much. The MP restore is also really important, specifically for this character, specifically trying to be the main DPS. And to do that, she's gonna be doing pretty darn well on the field, together with her SE, of course, but also further pushes this idea of, hey, she's going to be able to provide a really high amount of support to her light Magia team, but at the same time, she's going to be able to do an absolute great amount of damage to the enemy herself. So we have some anti-Magia Steel MP up, very basic stuff, double damage up, like an additional bonus node. Usually only have like 2. She has 4 nodes. One of them is for like an additional node of that for 5 turns. It's super duper powerful. So he's like normal nodes are like 5%, 5%. This one is 5%, 5%. I think for most characters like 10%, 5%, something like that. Then she has not only an additional passive node, but then another additional node that's like 30%, 15% is quite a lot for 5 turns, which is almost the entirety of a Kimochi battle. So she's almost capping on Doppel damage and Magia damage up just by existing and like doppling once or something like that. And she's already looking at getting the most amount of bonuses for Magia up and Doppel up that you can possibly even get. So yeah, she's kind of stacked when it comes to dealing Doppel damage. Then she also has the old reliable, like I guess, okay, one of the old reliables is of course the Exceldra personal, but the other old reliable is of course when the battle starts, or like 1 turn after the battle starts, you get a crap ton of MP, catapulting your way to Magia and even Doppel. Something that we've seen from, for example, Doppel Kyoko from Infinite Iroha, although Infinite Iroha only works in PvE. This also works in PvP, also works in mirrors, which, yes, since there's currently a mirrors event going on, which is actually pretty fun, you might suddenly see this character pop up because she's yet another character that can by herself actually get to Magia rather easily on turn 2, so keep all of that in mind. On top of that, she also has the MP up damage MP up when attacked by weak element, the Revenge Adept, which is something that also Masakoko had. Toyo also has it next to Masakoko. And on top of all of that, you also buff an additional Magia damage up. How much more Magia damage up are we gonna get? And more light attribute attack up for all allies forever, basically for the entire battle unless it gets dispelled, which is basically not going to happen. So yeah, we have really high amount of support capabilities, and we have really high amount of damage capabilities on this character. So yeah, she's already looking like an absolute top light type unit when it comes to at least Magia strategies, specifically Magia strategies. She's going to be doing really well. And then you have the active as well, which is just 2 separate instances of light attribute resistance down. Now I think the reason why it's 2 separate instances, like you might be wondering, why is it 2 debuffs? Why couldn't it just be 1 debuff for 21%? Well, it's actually better if it's spread out over multiple instances, and the reason why is debuff shields. Let's say, for example, you have an enemy that blocks, has like 1 instance of debuff block. Then when you have an effect like this, the first instance, this 8%, gets blocked, okay? But then the second instant comes in and you have like another 13%, and since the shield has already been removed by this first half, now this 13% actually sticks. And if you're, for example, fighting against a Madoka Iroha who have even 2 debuff shields, it burns through both of those. And then if, for example, after that you have Meteor Rain or whatever that hits, then yeah, all of those effects are gonna hit all enemies. So this is something that is pretty good against anything that has debuff shields. I don't know if the Kimochi that you're gonna use this on has debuff shields, but if it does, this is going to be specifically effective against that. And specifically if you're fighting against mirrors, like I said, with Madoka and Iroha, this will, or does anything that has debuff shields, this burns through multiple debuff shields while still maybe even letting some of that stick around. So yeah, that's basically what this unit does. There's not really much else to say. Like I said, basically Master Koko, but way more aggressive, but a little bit less in the support category. So less support, more aggressiveness. That's basically what this unit does. Now, of course, there's also a Memoria, and the Memoria is basically like, hey, use me on Toyo or any light type Magia character. So basically just put this on any light type Magia character, because he does Magia, double, and light attack up, which is like all the 3 main stats that a light type Magia character needs. And there you have it. There's really not anything else to this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, and I'm gonna be off playing fucking Final Fantasy 16. Oh my god. Bye.